Okay, this lucid dream, it was kind of quick. But anyway, so this morning, now I have many lucid dreams every morning, sometimes 4 or 5. But, I'll get them sometimes, and even when I don't talk to the aliens, but normally every morning or night, I talk to the aliens. Okay, so anyway, so this morning at about 10, I wasn't sure if I could go back to sleep, but it was about 10 o'clock, and I started talking to the Greyz and the Reptilians, to come give me an out-of-body experience or virtual reality experience. But they'll give you what they feel like giving you. So this Grey gave me a lucid dream, and this was really weird too. He showed himself to me, like I had my eyes closed. And it's been a while. Like, there was a time, like in 2013, like, every time I closed my eyes, I'd see, like, just tons of, like, Greyz. But I was having a lot more activity and stuff then, as far as them, like, pulling my astral body out and stuff like that. When I would lay down, I had a lot more activity like that. So then when they're near you like that, when you close your eyes, you'll see them. And, so it's kind of let up a little bit as far as closing my eyes and seeing the Greyz or the Reptilians. So this morning, I was excited that I started talking to them and I saw a Grey at me. Just a normal looking Grey. And, so anyway, and most of the time I know if it's like a Grey that gives me the experience, or a Reptilian, or a Reptilian and a Grey. It's just, I can tell by the experience because they all have their own personality. And sometimes 2 Reptilians will give me an experience. But this morning it was just one Grey. But yeah, normally I can tell who it is. And like I say, lots of times they'll show their face at you, so that's how I know, 100% for sure if they do that. But most of the time I know for sure anyway, even if they don't show their face at me. But, so anyway, it was kind of weird because I had my eyes closed and I was talking to them, and it's like the Grey was already starting to program my lucid dream. And so, like, if you get really attuned to them, you'll realize they're tampering and stuff, and how they tamper with your brain and stuff. I guess they might use the implant, I don't know, that's already in my head, I don't know. Or maybe they could just use their mind too. But anyway, so I felt like I saw my consciousness almost kind of like double vision or something, kind of like move to the left and move to the right. And then I was just like, wow. And then of course when I saw the Grey, I was just like, wow, because it's been such a long time since, they showed their faces at me, seems like. And not only that, I saw, and no, this could have been a Reptilian that actually gave me this image, but I had my eyes closed, and this phoenix eagle showed itself to me, this phoenix eagle, and it looked all malevolent and had his mouth open, but it seemed kind of malevolent. And I have had those phoenix eagles on the brain lately, but I think that was a Reptilian that did that. But, so when the Grey was trying to program my lucid dream and stuff, I also saw, like it was weird, like this netting. It just looked like a net, like a black net, or black grayish, of course, when you close your eyes, it's all black anyway. So I saw this, when he was getting in and tampering with my brain to give me a lucid dream, I saw this netting, like coming at me, like moving around. It was really weird. But anyway, it's just, you'll get used to all these sensations and stuff when you talk to the aliens. Because they give everybody lucid dreams and stuff, but if you talk to them, they'll give you more. I mean, I don't ask for anything specific most of the time, and I didn't ask for anything specific at all this time. But yeah, it was just really weird. So anyway, so then I did finally fall asleep. And, oh, and 2, by the way, that Grey right there, in 2013, I cut it out and I put it on top of my cubicle. And that's when I got physically abducted in that April. And after that, you know, I started having all sorts of activity, and I would, you know, talk to them, and that's when they were really like coming at me, showing their faces at me and blah 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 blah. But they were giving me a lot of lucid dreams and stuff back then too, and virtual reality experiences and stuff. But I was talking to them a lot, and they were like totally like answering me. And I can't remember what I said exactly, but this gray came to me, so to speak. I had my eyes closed, and he came to me, and the gray, the real gray, was standing on the right, so to speak. I didn't see any legs or anything, but he was standing on the right, and he put this fake gray on the left, like he was telling me, because they don't, you know, they don't really like talk and move their mouth and shit. So he was talking. I mean, he was telling me, you know, because they like to communicate with images, basically. And it's like he was telling me, God, I forgot now. Oh yeah, he was saying, see how similar I look? He was trying to like tell me, hey, you know, this is what I look like. See how similar I look to this fake gray. And it was so cute. And that, the fake gray I had on my cell phone. My cell phone, screen, or desk, what do you call it? Wallpaper. At the time. Yeah, it was the wallpaper dilly bobber on my cell phone. And like I said, I was talking to a gray, and I can't remember what I was saying or whatever, but anyway, it was like a little virtual, I mean, it was real. It was like a little virtual reality. It was real. It was a real gray that was standing on the right, totally real, and then he put that image on the left by him. And I was just like, wow, you know, but that gray gave off 95% human energy. I mean, he seemed so like benevolent and so human-like, but he looked just like a gray. Because some of them, they seem real, some of them seem like kind of cyborg-like, and some of them are just like, you know, they don't give off that human energy. And a lot of them are just kind of, they just seem impersonal, indifferent, or whatever. But, okay, so anyway, so this is how this, and this experience was kind of different. So that's why I'm talking about it. I mean, it wasn't like the most exciting that I've had or whatever, but it was different. Okay, so anyway, and they put me in downtowns, like in my own town and other downtowns, many times. Even when I was much younger. And back then, I mean, all these, like, a lot of lucid dreams and virtual reality type of dreams and stuff are like coming back to me, like boom, 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 boom. And at the time, you know, I didn't know they would give me all these experiences when I would go to bed at night or whatever. But a lot of them, I mean, like most of them, I mean, I would totally just be walking around doing normal things. And I totally felt like I was totally in a different dimension, and I still do on most of the lucid dreams and stuff that they give me. I totally feel like I'm in a different dimension. I felt like I was in a different dimension this morning. Sometimes when I have the virtual reality experiences, it's a different story. But sometimes they can alter the energy too. But yeah, when they give me like the lucid dreams, which are also virtual reality, I totally feel like I'm in a different dimension. Like heaven, kind of utopia type of dimension. But this morning, I did realize that I was in the dream towards the end of the experience. I started to realize that I was in the dream or whatever. But during the first part, I didn't. And what was I gonna say? But so anyway, but this experience was really more because I have so many experiences. And so I classify, you know, all of my experiences, but this actually was more like a dream, but because most of my lucid dreams are like total virtual reality, this was more like a, oh, sorry, Bobby, this is more like a dream, but it was still very clear, and I did realize I was in the dream at the end of the experience. Okay, so this is what happened. So he puts me, so I started driving like to this downtown, and I was in my own town, but the downtown, it was different. It wasn't like my downtown. It didn't feel like my downtown town, like where I live now. Sometimes, but I knew I was downtown in my town. Sometimes they can make things realistic and sometimes not. So yeah, so it's like I was downtown, which I never really go, in my own town, and I went into a liquor store. I walked into a liquor store looking for some like coffee beans. I know, which is kind of weird. And so I walked to the back of the store, and I just started looking around, and they didn't really have a lot of products in there, not a lot at all. And I just kind of like, I think I saw like some cups and some liquor towards the back of the store, and I was like, okay, well, they don't have hardly crap in here. So then I walked, I walked back towards the door, and I looked to my right, and then there was a small display about, I don't know, 6 feet wide, 4 feet tall of this coffee, this packages of coffee, already mixed up, like the sugar stuff. And I bought that before, that Big Train coffee or whatever. It's like they know, the bean knew that I have this thing with coffee now. And everything they put in your experiences, they go off your brain, what's already in your brain. I don't know how they can create it so fast, but they do. They can just read your brain really fast and create the experience for you, lucid dream or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, this wasn't a real exciting experience, but I'm going to talk about it because the end of it was like totally cool. Okay, so anyway, it didn't really, at first it almost kind of seemed like a movie store, which of course I've been into before many times, and liquor stores, but it kind of seemed like semi-liquor store, semi-movie store, or video store or whatever, which don't really exist anymore. So anyway, I saw all these Big Train packages, and I was like, well, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, packages of coffee beans. And the store didn't really seem to have it. Well, it's a liquor store, so why would they have coffee beans? But anyway, okay, so I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. But anyway, if you talk to the aliens, I mean, they'll show themselves to you. Everybody probably has their own way of seeing them or whatever. But yeah, just talk to them and they'll give you all sorts of experiences when you go to bed. But you got to ask them to open up your brain too, or you may not remember a lot. Because most people are in a trance, and that's why they don't remember anything, when they dream and stuff. Okay, so anyway, so then and there was somebody standing there, and I was kind of like mumbling something. Well, I didn't, like he mumbled to me like, did you find what you needed? And I was like, no. And as far as I remember, he was just like, there was just one person standing there. As far as I remember, it was a black guy. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was. And he wasn't real tall. And so I walked. Yeah, the Reptilians, they like to put black people in my scenarios a lot, but the Greyz have done it too. And so, actually, like I say, this experience could have been created by a little bit of both, a Reptilian and a Grey, for all I know. But I know a Grey was involved, or he wouldn't have shown his face to me. And then, of course, I saw the benevolent phoenix eagle before this experience. But of course, I've had that on the brain too. And I have one at work, a little stuffed animal or whatever. Okay, so anyway, so I walked out the door because I'm like, I was thinking in my head, I don't want those Big Train already mixed coffee drinks, you know what I mean, that you put in a blender and stuff. I was looking for coffee beans. Okay, so then I proceeded to go to the parking lot to get in my car and leave. And I looked over to the left, and there was my car, which is a Honda Civic, and then there was another car, and then, okay, this is what is really weird. I looked to my left again, and with my own mind, I like placed another like clone of my car there with my mind. I just like replicated it, and boom. And I was thinking, and so it was kind of like a clone of my car. So there was like my car to the left, my original car to the left, and then another car, and then, like I say, I accidentally, like, with my own brain, bam, created another duplicate clone car, physical car. And I was thinking, and that's when I started to know that I was in the dream. And I was thinking, well, I don't want to like drive off and leave that, you know, leave my clone car, even though it really wasn't my car, so to speak. It was just a clone of my car. I was thinking, I don't want to drive off and leave that there, you know, the clone car, because I still kind of felt like it was my car, you know what I mean? Even though I was about to get into my original car and drive off. And then I started to think, did the Grey kind of mess up in the programming of this experience? Like, yeah, like it was really weird. So then, you know, like I get attached to my stuff and or, you know, like, what's that word I'm looking for? I get attached to it and I'm protective of my stuff, you know, and so I didn't want to leave a clone copy of my car right there in the parking lot as I left in my original car. But anyway, I started to think, like I say, at that point, or a little before that, I knew I was in the dream, and I started to think, did this Grey kind of mess up, you know, and make me accidentally, with my own mind, create another duplicate clone car? But I did have the word clone on my brain too the past couple days or whatever. And so then I thought, okay, well maybe I can remove it with my mind or whatever. So I tilted my head like left, because I was walking out in the parking lot to the right of these three cars. So then I looked left. I don't know, for some reason I was about to walk right back to the parking lot, deeper into the parking lot, which my car was on the left, back behind me just a few feet, my original car to the left. And so I was like, well, if I placed it there with my mind, why can't I just look at it and make it disappear? So then I tilted my head, I looked over to my left, and it's like I just told it to disappear. And then, you know, I looked over there again to my left, and it was gone. But I still had my original car, non-clone car, in the parking lot, and that other car, which I believe was a small black car, was in the middle of my original one, which was on the left of the black car, and then the car on the right was the clone copy of my car. So that was really weird. I thought that was kind of cool anyway, but I'm trying to think if I remember anything. I'm sure I forgot a lot of little bits and details, but it's no big deal. But sometimes I'll literally get like 5 or 6 lucid dreams, man, just bam, 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 bam. And like I say, it did seem like I had another one after this one or before this one or whatever. No, I guess it probably would have been after this one, and for some reason I'm just not recollecting that one, but most of the time I remember everything. But that part was kind of cool because I knew I was in the dream. I started to know I was in the dream, and I was thinking, did the Grey mess up in the programming of it?